Hi everybody, it's Jo here from Alchemical Journey, and I would like to come on and just speak about, I've had the privilege of talking to Sonia from the Tree of Knowledge, and I've been looking through the comments, which is very brave of me, but I had some lovely ones, so I'm really thankful, and thank you everybody. If you have subscribed, I really appreciate that. That's really lovely. And I've had a few people resonate with me from the projector or from the human design aspect that I brought into the chat. And I'm not an expert, so please don't think that I can offer you any advice on what you are, but it's really interesting that the projectors that I am could resonate and were drawn to what I was saying. So I thought I'd just come on and talk a little bit about that. So I'm a 6/3 projector, an ego projector, and what was interesting was I think I've mentioned it a lot in some of the videos, that I've been like this self-warrior the whole time. I've done my work myself. I've been inspired by others, but I've never attached myself to any systems or gurus or anybody that I needed to feel like I needed to be shown the way, told the way. It all came from my own healing of a disease that I was diagnosed with, that I became so in tune with who I am and what I am. And I've always questioned myself because I never felt like mainstream, or I've always shapeshifted to fit in, to have a social life and things like that. But you get, as you grow up and go through life, you get used to doing that, to have some sort of engagement with people. And my own practice, which has been 25 years dedicated every day, I'll do something for myself. I'm really interested to know how I feel, what I need, and how I can help myself to definitely get to know myself more, to explore most of my innate powers that we're all born with. I'm so interested in that. It's like a self-mastery quest, and that's me, that's who I am. And in human design perspective, it came to me, I think about 7-8 years ago. Somebody said, do you know what design you are? And I was like, well, no, I don't. So I'll go and have a little look, and I'll dive into that. So I found out you can look up your own chart from your date of birth, your place of birth, your time of birth. You can get your chart of who you are and what you are on the human design system. So I'm a 6/3. Apparently I'm rare, and I'm 0.5 of the population. Again, don't quote me on any of this. It's just through memory. In my human design, I've been told that I'm not one for taking notes and writing down. I don't need to do that. So everything comes from memory and resonance. And so being a 6/3, if you're a projector like me, then we get 3 stages in life. And I'm on the stage, or I'm off the roof, which feels really nice actually, because it was quite a chaotic life. And the main thing that I learned with the 6/3 is that there's not a lot of information about us out there, because and if there is a lot of information, then it's usually the same sort of information, that we need to wait for an invitation, that I'm here to guide, I'm here for the other. So I'm a non-energy being. My heart is defined and my ego center is defined. So I live from my ego, and people get confused with that, thinking that I'm very egotistic. It's not. It's just my driving force of knowing what's right and wrong for me. And so what finding about the human design was for me was more clarity, because when I read about me, I was like, yeah. And it just gave me clarity of what I already know. So it was like reading out loud about me that was true to me. And like I said, I've never been one to go and I can't fully live as a 6/3 projector, because that would mean that I would be in a system and it would put me in a box, and I can't do that. So I like to just use it as clarity, as reference because I've never been able to talk about myself from my heart to somebody that's dedicated to listening or understanding it. You know, obviously people know me, but those times when I'm in my practice and doing my thing, doing my work on me, or spending time with me in my silences, in my time and space, is, it doesn't need to be shared. It's just my thing. It's my growth. And that comes from externalness, people, my husband, situations, you know, things like that. That's how my practice evolves every day, because there's always something, isn't there? And it's and I like to keep myself aligned, and I'm not great if I'm in really high energy, because I don't feel nice. You know, it takes the niceness away from my day. And yeah, so human design, people have been saying that they can resonate with me a lot. And this situation about waiting to be invited, and that I can be in a room for 20 people and just one person will connect with me, because apparently I have a pointy aura that pokes, you know, that people can sort of go, oh gosh, you know, who's that in the room? And that's so true, because I live in Turkey and I've been to so many Turkish classes, and I could go walk in a room of 15, 20 people, I'll find my seat and nobody will talk to me. Or it would take a long time for people to sort of say, you know, would you like to come out for a coffee or something? And that's something that I've just got totally used to now, even though I can be. And I was talking to Sonia when we had a private chat. I could be, because she was saying that when she goes into communities, you know, she's quite a magnet for people. Talking to one person, then she can almost connect that person to another person that she's met, because they've got a similar thing. And I said, you know, I could go around smiling and being all sort of, you know, like as if I want to sort of say hello and things, and it just doesn't happen for me. So people have said that before. You must go out in the community. You must make friends. It's really hard if you are a projector like me, or maybe in your projector life, it's not as hard for you, but for me, it's very, very hard. So I'm either sort of liked or I'm not liked. And that's another thing that I've gotten used to. But the waiting thing, so in human design, because I haven't got a defined throat, it was suggested that people would find me, you know, because of the work that I do, people would find me, come across me in their own time. It wasn't about me advertising or talking about it, because sometimes when I worked with people with skin disease, and I wanted to shout from the mountains that, you know, you can heal yourself. You don't need to go down the pharmaceutical route and things like that. But that's never worked, and it never has worked. Even making these videos now, there's so many glitches, or my guests can't get on it. There's always sort of something that doesn't flow. But I decided, I was getting a call in last year that I wanted to use my voice, because my business sort of collapsed over that sort of pandemic time. And I felt like, even though I'm happy waiting most of the time in my life, I'm happy to do that, because I'm good in my own company. I've got little things I like to do. I like being by the ocean. I can happily spend time with myself. But it was the depth of conversation that I wasn't getting. I really love to speak and have these lovely conversations. I am awake to the world and what we're here, and you know, the simulation and all things like this. But there was nowhere for me to express it, because the people that I did work with all went on a different path. When COVID came, they all traveled a different way. And I was thinking, oh, wow, that, you know, so I had this calling to make these videos, to start talking out and talking to people that are really on their own alchemical journey, and doing all what it takes to stay, you know, aligned in with what we know is going on, and just to really share other people's stories, and just try and build community and friendships over, you know, deeper conversations, rather than just sort of desperately trying to find people that you can connect with. And you know, in everyday life, we're going about our days, and that's fine. You know, we're saying hello to whoever, shopkeepers and friends. But there was this real missing point for me of not having, you know, these deep conversations to connect with people. And where I live, there are some awake people here, but again, we're not connecting for whatever reason, I don't know. But then you know, you could go back to me being a 6'3" projector and having this awkward, this rareness about me that only is, you know, it's just very difficult to integrate. I don't know whether you feel the same way, but I thought I would share about this human design aspect. So I have read a report on myself being the 6'3" projector. I also had a session with a man called Richard Beaumont, who, and again, don't quote me on this, but I believe he spent time with Ra, who took the gave us the knowledge. And so I wanted to ask and speak with somebody who was closest to the source that I could get. And I know there are people out there who are very, very experienced with human design. I'm not saying that Richard is the only one by any means, but he was my go-to. I resonated with him, and I've had a session with him. And it was an hour session, which lasted for about 2 hours. And he was just basically sort of telling me how all about myself, but in everything he was saying, there was almost like this little laugh or chuckle, because I was agreeing with my weirdness, with the way I was, with the way. And what was really interesting after I'd spoken to him was that I decided that I'm not trying anymore. I'm not going to try and fit in anymore. The right people will come. I will build my own tribe. And I didn't want to be around people where I was having to be shallow or shapeshift to feel like I was having some sort of social life, or you know, and that really, really made a difference to me. It really made a difference to me, because it was almost like a reclaim. I was reclaiming myself from the life that I was trying to fit into. It became my life. Human design really did help me in getting the clarity that I was already knowing about myself, but I cannot commit to living by the whole system, because it sort of blocks me in a little bit, and it makes me, because I'm here to experience, and I want to experience for myself. Being a 6, we've come through those 3 different stages where everything was trial and error, and now you're up on the roof, and you off the roof now, so as they call it, and so you're being a little bit more, you're in your wisdom, you're in your knowledge, you're in your crones, if you like. But I can't lock myself into that. I have to still have all of this free expression and just see for myself. And so I also had a Vedic, a lady was doing Vedic astrology, and it was really interesting as well, because she came on, we were having a meeting together, and it was being recorded. And before I press record, do you know what a witch is? And I said, yeah, I am. And I said it out loud, and I just thought, oh, where's this going to go? And she said, I'm so glad you said that, because from your chart, and that you are a pure, true witch. You were born in invisible Venus. And she went on through her thing. But what I thought was really interesting was that she wanted to clarify if I knew what it was before she would talk to me, so that she could get an understanding where I was at. But I just had that chuckle to say that, do you know what witch is? And I was like, yeah, I am. And then she went into it, and yeah. So this human design I use as a tool. It was great clarity for me to understand, to see myself written down in paper from my time of birth, date of birth, and where I was born. And that's what it did. It stepped me more into my power, because I wasn't wondering anymore, like, what? Because, you know, when you are a little bit different, and you've been told that all your life, you do wonder, like, why can't I just be like that? And even some people said that, why do you have to be that way? Why can't you just do that? Why can't you just come there? Why? Because I can't go against this intuitive being. I cannot go against, the ego projector is by instinct, do you want to go here? No, I don't. And I don't go. I don't put myself into it anymore. I don't do it because somebody else wanted it. I'm not a yes person anymore. And that is what human design has helped me sort of step more into is myself, but I can't be completely in that system because this is my experience and this is my journey, and you know, I will figure out myself in, but it is nice to know. But what's interesting is the people that resonate with me and asking me, you're a projector, aren't you? You're a projector, aren't you? So I'm really thrilled to have that connection with you if you are too. I would be really thrilled to have a conversation about it because, you know, we are here to guide, and I believe in the human design system. We're coming into our time now, and it's just happy to connect to people who resonate with this little weirdo and can understand what I'm talking about. But the waiting for your invitation can feel like it sort of cuts you off. But for me, as long as I'm indulging in what makes me feel happy, in the people that light me up, in the conversations that really give me depth, and in, you know, just I can really express myself from, and being with people that ask a question and listen is amazing for us projectors. Because I do sit quietly in rooms a lot when I have a lot I could be saying, and maybe a lot that could help somebody. But again, I have learned that if I sit back and wait to be asked, then it's a far better conversation than jumping in. But no, I mean, what do you think? I mean, let me know if this resonates with you. This is just a one little facet of my sides, but human design did help, and it's obviously helping the people who are resonating with what I'm saying, because there's this connection. And yeah, it's about growing this community of like-minded souls where we can talk our truth, and it's really important. And it's now time for us to show up and be seen, and I think it's beautiful. We like being seen, but also, you know, just testing it, trying the things that we might feel like we're not going to be good at, and just really exploring with your design and keeping that part of you, or that majority of you, in your own journey, so that you're not restricting yourselves. Because I feel if I keep referring back to it, I'm a 6/3 projector, it's just labeling myself, and I'm not that, you know. I'm an infinite eternal being, and I really want to explore that so much. I don't want anything to sort of put I don't want anybody to take away this lovely excitement and energy I have for us exploring me more and more and deeper and seeing what we are. And I think it's remembering, the art of remembering. It's coming back, you know, memory is coming back. It's just, yeah. So this was just a little video. If you are one of those ones that resonated with me, thank you so much for subscribing. It means such a lot. And I don't know where I'm going with this platform, but I just want to celebrate people and get to know people, just expand the community of like-minded souls, and anybody that resonates with what I say is a beautiful thing. Thank you so much for your time, for watching, and do subscribe if you feel like you're drawn to or like this to help me. And thank you so much.